What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so Skip Bayless continues to try to ignore. He continues to try to ignore the allegations swirling against him and others at Fox Sports in a lawsuit levied by a former hairstylist that worked with Skip Bayless for several years, a woman by the name of Noreen Faraji, who says that Skip Bayless harassed her for several years, excessive touching, caressing, unwanted advances, verbal harassment, and including an offer of $1.5 million in order for her to give up the box to him, right? Now, whether or not you believe that offer, I definitely believe that there's some truth to things that she's saying when you listen to the reactions to some of the things that were stated in that 42-page document of the allegations and of different dates in which certain events supposedly transpired, when she went to HR, when this happened, that happened. Marcellus Wiley has confirmed that while he don't know whether everything is true, certain things that he read to his memory rang true. Even with Jason Whitlock, he said certain things that he read rang true. So look, this thing about Skip Bayless, everybody keeps saying, oh, well, Skip could have never done that. Skip could have never done that. Jay Crawford talked about how years ago, back when Skip Bayless was still with ESPN, back when First Take was known as Cold Pizza. I mean, it's probably going back to the days where it was Jay Crawford, maybe even Dana Jacobson. And I think the panel, because at first, First Take was a segment of Cold Pizza, but First Take, which was a debate segment embedded in an overall sports show, became so popular that they reformatted the show as a complete debate show, rebranded First Take. But it used to be Cold Pizza. But before Stephen A. Smith was there, it was Woody Page. And Woody Page, one infamous incident, got into a fisticuffs live on air with Skip Bayless. But what led to it was something that Woody Page said, and Jay Crawford confirmed that Skip said something about it was dealing with prowess and, you know, sex, and he said something to the effect of, I had more sex than anybody else in this room combined, or something like that. Some boast that didn't really nothing that was said even warranted him saying this. So this is a guy that, you know, unbeknownst to many, you know what I'm saying, brags about having had many different conquests. So Skip may be one of those guys who's real private with his stuff. So, you know, who knows what he's done. And, you know, something that Whitlock said, and I'm not really a big fan of Jason Whitlock, but he did say something that makes sense. He said, what could have been said between Skip and Faraji is, he said it could have been said in jest. It could have been said, do you know that such and such offered me $1 million for SEX? And Skip could have said in jest, well, I'll offer you 1.5. And a lawyer could have heard that and jazzed it up and made it sound worse than what it was. And that sounds very plausible. But I don't think this woman is lying. If she got receipts, when I say I don't think she's lying, I don't think she's lying about the harassment because she's gone to HR. She's had receipts about these different things. You know what I'm saying? So look, at the end of the day, this is the thing. Um, there is a obvious prevailing culture because we got, like I said before, I talked about this yesterday. This is a male-dominated industry. Male-dominated industry, and for women to get into this industry, whether it's fair or not, oftentimes they have to present themselves in a certain way, over sexualized, um, dolled up. Since it's a male dominated industry, and since there's a such thing as lookisms, I mean, lookism unfortunately permeates its way into regular life. There's been studies to show, scientific studies to show, that people who are more attractive tend to do better in life. They tend to make more money. They tend to, get the better promotions. They tend to make more money. People tend to be friendlier to them. People tend to want to help those who look more attractive more so than people who aren't attractive. And look, whether it's fair or unfair, that's just how life is. It may not be fair. If you're a person who society deems is not as physically attractive, well, either you have to accept that and just deal with how life hands you lemons, make lemonade out of it, or you may make changes in your own personal life, maybe lose some weight. Uh, I don't know, contact lenses, whatever you can. But that's just how it is. And people who are more attractive, they tend to get more favors. Um, and in a male dominated industry where virtually all of the executives are men, you know what I'm saying? There's a culture that takes place and has been in place where, look, for many years, this has been like a male dominated environment. Women are trying to encroach upon this. So, I mean, I'm sorry to say this, but oftentimes, in order for women to advance, there are some that are willing to do that, to go the Joy Taylor route. Now, whether you want to condemn her or not, fine, but you also have to condemn the men for empowering her, because once they acquiesce to her quid pro quo invitation, or you know what I'm saying, her quid pro quo. And I'm assuming that Joy Taylor is one introduced that, but once they yield or accept her quid pro quo deal, she takes power away from them. Now all of a sudden, she has the cards. She has the power because all she has to do is, once you get on her bad side, if she can prove, and women can have ways of proving these things, that you were intimate with her in exchange for advancement. Now all of a sudden she pretty much becomes your boss. So should we put all of the blame on Joy Taylor, or should we put some of it on Charlie Dixon? Should we put some of it on Manuel Ocho? I'm just saying. I just think that there's a lot of 304 bashing going on, and rightfully so in some instances, especially if Joy Taylor is out here enjoying the benefits of what she did. And then if something doesn't go her way, or she gets into an argument with the guy, now all of a sudden, out of spite, what I'm saying, she pulls the Me Too card. Then if that's what she's doing, then fuck her. But as I said before, if you look into it with Charlie Dixon, number one, like my boy 78 Sports TV said, this is a married man. Charlie Dixon is a married man who should be getting the same type of smoke that Amaya Doka got, who wasn't even married. But he's not. And he has there's no chance of him being fired. No one's going to push for him to be terminated or suspended. None of that stuff. He's going to live out his days Everybody gonna forget about this in a couple months, and nobody's gonna give a shit. But people forget that this guy who's married fired another woman because she wouldn't acquiesce to his demands for sex. And see, when I see that, that's why I don't have as much empathy for him anymore. To the point where I don't even give a shit if Joy Taylor was going to pull the Me Too card on him. Screw him. Not a victim. So, basically what I'm saying is this in a nutshell. I could see, not 1.5 million, but I could see Skip paying for it. I could see it. I could see it. He's an older man. He's in his 70s. Now, he works out and all that, but he's outside of whatever you want to call his prime. He hasn't really been in his prime in over 20 years. I do believe the rumors that he was insatiably jealous of Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe is this extremely, muscle-bound dude that works out religiously. Skip is the guy that's supposed to be the workout fiend, but Shannon Sharpe works out all the time, has muscles. Supposedly, guys walking around wearing goddamn gym shorts, Speedos. I mean, you know what it is. Come on, man. We know what time it is, right? It's a former athlete. Athletes are known for their prowess with women. Skip is a very competitive person by nature. I could see, when you look into that, I could see a scenario where when you have men, there's a dominant locker room culture that develops. I could see a situation where, I'm just saying this, I'm speculating, I'm not saying this is true, but I could see a situation where Shannon Sharpe may have in jest said I could pay Noreen $1 million, because Skip seemed to be very fixated on Noreen and possessive of Noreen, even though he's a married man. And I could see Skip saying in jest, but not so much in jest, I'll give you 1.5. I could see that, just out of male ego. But yeah, to me, even though these are men who are powerful and have money and they think it's a flex by paying these women or empowering these women vis-a-vis, this for that, in reality, when you do that, you kind of become a simp, because the woman becomes empowered, like I said before, because she gets what she wants. Yes, you get momentary pleasure, but you lose your power, and oftentimes you lose your authority. And the woman, she doesn't respect you anymore. She sees you as a mark, a simp. That's kind of how she sees you. You're just another trick to her. Especially when you look at Joy Taylor's past, when, there's been rumored that she was a stripper in Pittsburgh. But anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Tell me what you guys think.